What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Friday fun day here in the Tradecaster lobby. I'll be your host, as always, here 8:30 till 11 Central Time. Maybe a little earlier today, but we'll see how today goes. We are kind of opening here close to the overnight lows. I just drew up this zone here that I found reactive yesterday. We are going to trade these combines, see if we can get a little bit of money on these back for today. We do have a couple resetting on Saturday that will be traded come Monday, fresh and clean, so we could do this past these together so you guys can get some more funding and get back into business. All right, so we do see NVIDIA pulling back to that 120.90. Yesterday we saw, I talked about price levels and kind of a grinding action upside. Once we kind of broke through our previous day high, all that stuff. Saw 200 on the ask. Let's watch for larger size on the dome on the level 2s. This level right here came right into. We had a few people talking about sells from that spot there at that 520 down into this area here. Also the 420 area being reactive. So I could see price kind of pulling back through this overnight low, giving us something like this down below before coming back up, rotating back up to 610. 610 was my target for the high of the day. We got to 603.25, so very close. And then obviously overnight we broke into that 610, cleaned it up, came back, did it again, rotated up all the way to the overnight high, and now we have been selling ever since. We have about 3 minutes till open. It is Friday. If you're up on the week, be cautious. I don't see how it would be behoove you to give money back on a Friday. For me, I'm going to be a little aggressive on these. See what we can do here on the combines. Get myself closer to getting back to funded for September. I want to do a full funding by September so we can be able to maximize that. You can see NVIDIA over here pushed down just like the NQ, but has crept back up. Looking to get back up over that 122.29. Microsoft whipping around like crazy. What's going on here? CrowdStrike tech outage, nothing crazy, but just price actions acting a little wonky. Meta, Amazon, Tesla, Goog. Sort of a mixed bag of what's going on, right? So if you notice these names, let's see what Microsoft does on the open. See if we creep up, pop. We're holding over that 412. That 412 is bullish. I do think we can kind of clean this up again pre-market and then start to rally. Maybe that'll help us out. and the master of all masters, the NVIDIA trade here. We do have yesterday crept right into that 122, popped above it. As I mentioned, we were down here. We kind of crept all the way up through my levels, were reactive each step of the way, and then kind of came into here. Now we're popping up pre-market and then rotating back down. So let's see if this will help us come market open. Let's get to it. Good morning, Charlie. Cheers to a happy Friday, Capital Preservation Friday. If you're up, good. If you're down for the week, if you get some money back today, call it a day. End on a high note. Alrighty. The first week of school went pretty smooth so far. Let's see. I hope he had a good day today after we dropped him off, but let's kind of go into there. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping for a sweep of the overnight low, maybe down into 420, somewhere down in here, and then we pop back up. Oh man, I hate when I do that. This paintbrush always gets me drawing lines on the charts. So S&P's popped up, NQ popping down. A little divergence there. Negative on the delta. There was some size of 500 that has kind of dissipated. 23. Watch for those bigger sizes on the bid, on the ask. Looking through the order book, I don't see anything crazy down below. 448. Yeah, nothing through low days. So let's see if this heaviness kind of gives us an opportunity. I don't think that the first touch gives it to us. I think maybe we break through it, get down, like I said, down to 420. Yesterday, 420 was that key area, so watch for that again. S&P is pushing up nicely, holding that trend line that we broke through, right? NQ broke it and has stayed heavy. S&P broke it, reclaimed it, and is stepping upside. Russell going up, small caps getting a bid. I would anticipate if small caps are catching a little bit of a pop, then DEX looking for some poppers as well. So watch out for the small cap pop and drop. NVIDIA just dancing around this opening range area where it was right around that 122 mark. Unfortunately, not getting any follow through to the downside there. This is the opening range here. Opening range has been set for approximately 172 ticks. A little bit extra wide today. The divergence here is S&Ps are relatively strong compared to the NQ, right? Who's going to lead us here? Is the S&P leading us higher, or is the NQ trying to drag us down? NVIDIA is still holding, pushing to the high side. Microsoft pushing to the lows, breaking down through 419.27. So maybe Microsoft helps push this down a little lower for that first little pop off of the overnight low. NVIDIA is still dancing around at 122. Just popped 122 and is not quite holding it yet. 122, there he goes. Now it's pushing up, closed there, pushing up to 122.20. Looks like that 122.29 level will be at least thought about. And it's about to get tagged. There it goes, 122.30 touched on NVIDIA. Still kind of just middle of this range here. Nothing to do for me at the moment. This is still diverged a bit. Delta never made new highs. Price tried to make new highs, trying to stay on the low. So aggressive sellers still present. I see nothing big on the order book right now. 20s, 30. I mean, nothing really huge. I'm trying to look over on the Surface Dome. Down below, we have a 36 lot at 490, which is not that big compared relatively. 35, 36. Overhead, there's some stacked bids, some stacked asks, but nothing that I see that's going to really matter. It seems like more algo type size, right? 40s. There's 150 lot down here at that 490. It flashes and comes back, flashes and comes back. So 490 in that area here. You can see there's a 33 lot there that comes and goes. 41 lot there at 488. So let's see if it'll sweep down through that. It's just kind of relatively normally stacked orders. If I notice anything that's overly sized, I will mention it in here and put it on the. I'll either write it on the chart or just speak it out while I'm talking about it. But nothing that's going to pull us in either direction as far as size is concerned. Nvidia just broke 122.30 and is kind of cruising on up. 122.70. Previous day high is 123.25 on Nvidia. Microsoft is holding that 419.50, looking like it wants to catch a bid from there. 420. It's kind of dancing around between 420 and 419.50. This is the difference here. This is Microsoft, and this is Nvidia. You can see the difference. Nvidia going upside, and Microsoft going towards the downside right here. If Microsoft cracks 419, that 419.25 ish area, it seems like it's holding right. Seems like there's a big buyer here, kind of bidding this up, bidding this up, bidding this up. But if that holds and Nvidia can kind of rotate back down through 122.30 and kind of get into this area, then maybe we can get our overnight low sweep and then rotate. But right now, it doesn't seem like it wants to do that. Nothing has changed since yesterday's data, so 610 at least and then higher potentially does make sense to me for the day, but I would like to get it by sweeping the low, right, and then accepting it back all the way to the high side. I would like a trap of shorts to kind of extend whoever was short overnight, right, and then stop them out. Like this would be a good place for them to start to buy it back up. The 500 is going to be reactive, right? 500 level. Yesterday was reactive. Today it's a little reactive. Obviously, we're just lingering right around it. If you're over on YouTube, hit that like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. The little notification bell. Help me out. Every little bit helps. Any interaction, just say what's up in the chat. Kind of increases the algorithm. We're here to be realistic. We're here to be educational. Everything I do here is just providing value of what I do, of what you could possibly do, the ups, the downs, the sideways, all that fun stuff. We're going to sell some coffee, daytradingcoffeeco.com, links in the bio. Take a look. It's pinned to the top of the chat in the YouTube. Grab yourself some trading fuel to start your trading day right. Nvidia just rolled 122.29, so we could get that overnight low touch potentially come in from that help from there. What's Microsoft doing? Microsoft bounced from 419.50 right up to 420.79. I'm going to watch Microsoft, see if it gets heavy through 119.27. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if overnight lows sweep us to 400. So I'm not going to just immediately, limit in at the overnight low. I'm going to wait to see if it'll tell me a turnaround. Clearly, very choppy price action here. Nothing that you need to get involved with quite yet. I'm going to wait, be patient, linger here. It is Friday. I don't know how much, wild price action we're going to get. We will get some movement at some point. Just be patient for it, okay? Don't be hammering in, right? Let's see. I got a picture to post, story to tell. I'm just going to be sitting here waiting for this. Post something here right now. Boom, 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 boom. Nothing on the book still. Overhead, there's maybe a 30 lot here at 53. Now we're pushing up into that area of interest, right? You can see pre-market, we kind of came right here. This was a breakdown point. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 candles straight, hard downside breakthrough, act as support. Yesterday, same deal. This is where we had that high level of interest right here. We kind of popped down through it, reacted to the top end, flushed it again, then rotated back up through. So maybe see something like this kind of go on right now to pop us high side. If not, watch for the failure rotation. Never got to the overnight lows for us to get involved in any sort of longs. So NVIDIA popped off that 122.29 level. You can see that there. 122.29 acting as that bounce point. And then Microsoft, I'm sure, is bouncing as well. A little bit. At 420 level is holding it down, but it is that tight wedge. Whichever direction it picks, probably will be a nice move out of it when it does choose its direction. It might manipulate, like I said, down below that 419 and then pop back up since NVIDIA is dragging everything up. Not giving us the opportunity quite yet. So there's that reaction from that level, right? Key area here. Just good to note, seeing that slightly increased volume on the first break. Secondary candles a little bit lower on the volume. Indecisive, now trying to push back up over it. Size wise, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 50 lot maybe here at 522. Nothing overly sized. On the way down, let's see. I don't see anything down on the bottom end on the level 2s. Alrighty. This is the top end. So how these trend lines seem to work lately, there'll be support, resistance, resistance. See if it comes back down through this 510. 510, we got 20 lots there. Just some stacked bids down below. Nothing, like I said, nothing oversized that's just sitting there. And above, we don't have anything crazy huge either. So maybe we just see if we get a pullback from here, from this key zone and down into the overnight lows. Just for that one last hurrah. Hurrah to the downside. Ba-doop. There's the push through 510. I did mention that that's probably likely to pull through here. If it does pull through here and then fail that break above here, it could make some squeeze action kind of happen there. But I would watch for the sweep of the overnight low and then the rotation back higher would be nice. Trying to catch this on the way down and then on the way up could be a potential opportunity, right? Kind of talk about that. Selling through this level here at 500. sell through 500. 505 had some size. 490 have some size now. That's getting filled. But you can see there's a lot of wicks here. There's some support right there. If this can hold below this area, then maybe potentially the short can come in. NVIDIA is pulling back a little bit, but it's coming back to that support level, so it's not like it's very convincing to me. And Microsoft rolled right here. You can see right through that 419.27, but it's found support at 419 even, and it's not moving, just literally sitting there. There we go. NVIDIA pulling back right to that support line. It needs to crack that for NQ to go. See that wick and the pop up probably gets back up over 500 before it does come down. If not, we can continue all the way down to that overnight low. I'll take the chance on it with one here. I want to see if it'll go down to the overnight low, and then I want to see if I can rotate the overnight low to the highs, right? Willing to give this a little bit of room. Not much because I don't like to play this area. I'll take that stop to even. For me, that's good enough. Just grab myself a little bit on this to take my chance on it. We got stopped on it at even, up $32 on it. 37 bucks. I think it still has room to the downside, but this isn't my like A+ setup here, so I'm a little tight with it. I think realistically it does get down to that overnight low. I want to try and play the fail breakdown rotation. That's something I'm willing to hold longer. This does seem nice and clean. So if you took the breakdown, still safe. I mean, even with your stops over 500, because if it does get back over 500, I think it pops. But that's just me thinking this through as far as logically. Could have took it down and just got real tight to it to the bottom of this, but I'm not looking to do that right now. I think we are in a chop zone currently, so I want to see it do what we need it to do, right? We need to sweep the low, trap some shorts, rotate us back to highs, get some, people who are bigger players or even smaller size that, once you get through the overnight low, if they think they're going to short it, where are they going to put their stops? They're going to put stops over 83. They're going to put stops over 500. They're going to put stops over the high. And then you're going to be able to sweep the low, trap some shorts, and, grab liquidity on the way up. That's the thought on the strategy, right? And if we get down through the overnight low, which it doesn't seem like it wants to, but if we do get down through there, this S&P also needs to help us out, right? It can't just linger up here. Although if it holds above 51.50, then potentially it shows that relative strength and it continues as upside. I would like to see it all the way down here as well, so that might help with the timing. The 610 is going to be a magnet, I think, realistically as well. So if we can start to catch a bid and push up, 610 is a good target for those of you who want to hold a little longer. 610 and then overnight highs at 684 at least would be a nice, full rotation type day. Is there going to be profit taking today from that big rally up yesterday? Potentially, but I don't think that that's necessarily likely. 398 is my downside level. So 398 could bounce from 398 and pop back up. NVIDIA held at 122.29, right? This is why I was cautious. This is why I was cautious on this pullback here. This clearly acting supportive. Second touch of it, pop right back up. If it cracks and gives up, then you're going to get some impulsive sells. But let's see. Microsoft's still not catching the same kind of bid that NVIDIA is. So that's kind of helping us hold down. But let's see. Let's see. Who's going to take the lead? Where are we going to end up? What's going on with the small cap world? Small cap world popped up into pre-market levels and is looking for a rejection here at 2150. And it's pushing right through that 2150 level, looking like it wants to pop again. 2151. So Russell, small cap, still creeping upside. I don't have any large orders on the book here. I mean, there's a 60. That's not terrible. No, that's 30. It flashed and disappeared. 33 lots. I'm having maybe a connection issue. So because I have some choppy price going on. Alrighty. Not something I like to see. Still looks good on the connection status. Pop right back up. 15-minute opening range would be the high is this 34. The low is 462. NVIDIA finding a top. Microsoft swept the low of the day. Well, pre-market low there. Yesterday's low is down at 417.66. We do have a support area right kind of where we're at up to 418. So 418, 418.30. So NVIDIA and Microsoft could be dragging this now back higher. NVIDIA made new highs on the day. Sup, Jofi? How we doing? Been a little while. How we doing? NVIDIA making new highs. I said 125. 123.85 is the high of the day, pre-market high. We cleared out the high from yesterday, which is 123 quarters. So up over that, you got up to 125.34 as the next overhead. If we get through pre-market highs, pre-market highs 123.86, 85, 84-ish. I do see this being pretty bullish here. Up to 610, beyond 610 to overnight highs 684. I wanted to get this to push through overnight lows to be able to get a setup. Never quite got there. I took a short really quick, went to even through 500. Clearly didn't work out. Good to be on break even there for that trade. S&P's is at the VWAP, and NQ is not quite there yet. NVIDIA is still creeping higher, 122, 123.55, 123.56, looking to tag off on 123.85. And Microsoft bounced from 118 even, 418.05. Still has to get up over 419.27 for it to go push to the high side. Still seems a bit heavier than the other names. Let's see, Tesla pushing higher, Google pushing higher, Meta, Amazon. A lot of these names pushing a little bit higher. Microsoft is the relative weak name. So with the relative weakness with Microsoft, see if Microsoft will push us down further, help kind of lead us to the downside. Will some of these other names start to catch up, start to push heavier down? If Microsoft creeps into 416.50, maybe sweeps yesterday's low even, comes into support at 417. If Microsoft can get to down in that area and NVIDIA stops running higher, then potentially we'll get an area to buy. But right now it seems like the buyer is going to pop this level on the high here. To me, it's not any sort of, I don't have any trades, right? I kind of had an idea here, gave it up. This never came totally down here. I guess that'll act as support there. S&P's has been the relatively strong index for the day, right? The pullbacks are a lot more shallow. NQ has been dancing around this level for the whole morning so far. S&P's has been holding. We do have a number at 9. So if you are in a position, be cautious. If you're looking to enter a position, be cautious. It is something that will move algos. I don't think it's going to be that important. Michigan consumer sentiment, if it's in the 60s, whatever. I mean, that's just consumer sentiment being stronger than weaker. Yeah, so just watch for that to be whippy with algos. Watch the tape get kind of thin right beforehand. Excuse me. So it's 6 minutes. I'm going to wait till that number comes out before we get some ideas. Five minutes till this number comes out. We'll get some positioning prior to it. I don't think it's going to be that much of a mover per se. I think you will get reaction from the algos. It is Friday. It's not non-farm. It's not one of those giant name releases, but it is still a red folder event. It is something that they'll be watching. It is something that's going to get reaction from it. The consumer sentiment. It's a preliminary number. Even it's not even like a full-on regular number. So maybe that'll get us our sweep of the low, a little trap action from that number. That'd be nice to see. It'd be cool to get that to break down. Like I said, and if it breaks down prior to 9, it'd be great if it gets into that 420 area. That's the area that I would like to be interested in, for it to kind of pull into here, to kind of snap this, get into here, maybe trap in here, and then come back out, and then that's when you get the squeeze of the highs. That's what I'm looking for if we get that. If not, you're going to get something where it sits here, where you've trapped below here. You break out this level. You pull back into here, sit below VWAP, because VWAP will probably be riding like that, and then crack a VWAP up that direction. I don't think we're going to get a break failure down here. I think much of what you'll start to see is just stair-stepping bullishness all the way straight up. It just, will it pull back first or will it dump? Two separate scenarios, both bullish, even though one shows some selling. You could have the third scenario, which I think is the least likely scenario, of cracking through here and then finding your way to previous day lows and then either bouncing from there or crushing through. I don't think that that's likely. I think this is the least likely. I think if we had to rate this in order of probabilities, currently we're sitting up a little bit more bullish than we would like as far as our setup goes. But I would like, for my setups to work out, this would be number 1, this would be number 2, and this would be like number 3 or 4. Because I think there's a possibility that if we do come down deeper, it's still kind of part of this setup here. So the best setup that you're going to see, the number 1 ideal setup, is the breakdown of this trap of a shorts, get them stuck underneath the overnight low, and then rotate them out, stopping everybody out along the way, grabbing more orders to squeeze it higher. That would be the ideal number 1 A+ setup. Number 2 setup would be breaking above this zone here that has been created yesterday and today, where you break above it, you kind of hold below VWAP, tighten up below VWAP, wedge out, and then break out, and then on to previous day highs and up, through 610, up to the overnight highs, and see what happens at overnight highs. Up to 760 would be the top end of that box that I have drawn for that gap, contract gap there. So once you get up over 760, at some point, once you're over this 760 level, all-time highs come in pretty much, not right away, but pretty quickly, I would assume. So these are my scenarios for what I would be looking for, planning kind of the trade out as you're thinking through what the scenarios would be. So scenario 1 looks like it wants to try. It's giving it a shot to the downside. Hopefully this algo kind of pumps us down, gets some whippy, trappy action from the number, and then you get that rotation back up. So number 1 and then number 2, obviously, we'll get the support here, pop, hold. I'm going to delete these so you can see the screen better, but I'm going to wait till that comes out, right? Let's do a little screen grab of it just to have it. So we can see it later after it plays out, which one of these will play out. My week has sucked. Not gonna lie to you. Last week and then this week burned my XFAs, so we are back in refunding phase. After I took the payout, we had all this crazy wild volatility and price action, and the XFAs just disappeared. So yeah, refunding phase. That's what I call it because I'm not too concerned. I know in my my abilities, my mindset, everything is. Sometimes you hit a cold streak, and with these XFAs, with these funding companies, it's a little different than your personal account where, you're going to kind of probably burn these with the tight drawdowns that they have when it comes to increased volatility. If your setup just kind of goes into a really cold streak, unless you have built up a crazy buffer, then you can kind of deal with the ebbs and flows of it a little bit. But for the most part, if you're kind of leveraging the way that you're thinking about, then that's kind of what we're in now, refunding phase. So I want to get fully back funded, five counts at least. Consumer sentiment at 67.8, so that high side looked like it wants to pop. I want to have all my accounts set up and ready to go for September, the better trading months. August is always historically shitty. So I want everybody to be funded, ready to go, ready to trade, the better volume month, the more clean price action come September. We're going to get a rate cut more likely September, so you're going to have some reaction there. You get elections in November, lots of moving price points for us to actually work off of. Right now we're all in speculation mode. I did mention yesterday, I think that all-time highs come in prior to that rate cut, and then once that rate cut comes in, we probably get some selling. We have till September 18th for that to kind of come into play. So we're looking like scenario one wants to play, but right now we haven't, you can see that was not a non-farm mover. That was it. It's done. The algos are done. It is 71% long on the tilt. So, we're at the high end of this, range that we've been stuck in here between basically 530 and 490, 480, right? That's that range we've been kind of trapped in here. If it picks a direction, it probably is the trap direction. So I did not mention scenario 4, or the more likely scenario of coming up to VWAP, rotating, failing this, then coming down and doing that whole setup over here. But S&P's has been relatively strong, and it's showing in the strength still. Yeah, same here, Jofi. I think it's like the time of the year, right? That's just August already, a shitty month, plus this wild price action we had last week with the increased volume, increased volatility on lower volume. It's very, it becomes very trappy. Things that don't work out, the things that normally work out kind of more consistently, don't. You gotta let it set up, Charlie. Let it set up, right? I talked about the 3 pretty much setups here. We're in scenario 2 currently, right? Scenario 2 would be come up into VWAP, tighten up a bit above this area, and then if VWAP comes across and down, you break out back up above it. Currently, NVIDIA is not at its highs. It's kind of rotating around that 123.20 area. If it fails that 123 area, then you rotate back down into here. Wait till 122.29 comes in, then you might rotate out. But I would expect this to be tight under the VWAP for a little bit before it breaks to the high side, right? Scenario 2 here. Scenario 1 still kind of could be in play if we did like a little pop here, then did this part, right, where we pop and then come into here. That would be a good short idea into a long idea. But I think scenario 2, this is scenario 4, where we come and we pop our head up over this, kind of where we're at right now, pop into here, then do this, whatever decision it makes down there. Let it set, have your ideas, have your thoughts on it, see where it's going to end up, right? You just cracked above the high of the day, prior high of the day, running your head right into VWAP. S&P's is approaching the previous day high. We're not even close to previous day highs, and NQ probably will want to catch up. I think it would want to maybe manipulate a little bit more before going higher. I don't think that it's going to go straight up, but if it does, it does. That 9 o'clock number is gone now, so there's not much holding the participants back, right? 67 as opposed to 66 forecast. People are apparently confident in their spending abilities. Seems like a lie. Seems like a lie. This has been holding pretty good. This is something I would like you guys to avoid, right? Charlie said he took a loss on something here. I don't know what he took, a short or a long or whatever. I don't know what you took. But when it's stuck in this type of range here like this, unless you have like a really good range bound strategy where every time it comes into here you're shorting, or every time it comes on the bottom you're going long from the support. Otherwise, you really should be avoiding everything in the middle here. This is like where you get manipulated, right? If you could just eliminate everything that happens in here and pretend it doesn't exist, you want to be doing something either at the top or at the bottom, and then figuring out, all right, is it going to break through this time and get through, or is it going to rotate out, right? Yeah, it never really quite broke that bottom trend line, right? And the way we've been acting lately, I think you have to allow these candles to close just based on a lot of the way this is going. NVIDIA broke high of day. It broke pre-market highs. So high of the day was broken. Pre-market highs have been broken. Does it hold? What happens with Microsoft? Microsoft still selling. So still holding below that first low of the day. There is a divergence between the large caps here. I haven't looked at Apple, but Apple's choppy sideways. NVIDIA may be trapping longs, but I don't think so. NVIDIA just gets buy happy. Like I said, it's still a bullish environment, I think, for this week to close. I think 610 is a likely area of interest for today. We're going to probably tag on it again at some point. Do we react to it? Do we fail the previous day high and then come back to VWAP, then rotate back to overnight highs? That would be a nice area for me to be looking for that as well. But these are areas that I would be interested in executing. But right now I have never got to my areas and the types of setups that I want to see below VWAP here. In order for this to be a good long opportunity for me, I would need it to do something where it stays underneath here and tightens up, even manipulates below this 5 and then pops up, right? That's a better, higher probability setup for me. Stuff that just goes through VWAP and then continues straight up and kind of grinds, it never really provides me an entry, because a lot of times, especially in the NQ, it gets above VWAP and it manipulates straight down and it'll stop you out, right? Kind of how it's doing right now. So for my thoughts on it, it's very difficult for me to enter anywhere near VWAP, especially if you want to play a continuation play through VWAP. A lot of the continuation plays through VWAP fail. And not even because they don't fail necessarily because of it not working. It'll probably continue straight up. But the manipulation that happens around this area, there's so much interest around VWAP that these bigger players are trying to execute, in this area here that's a little bit outside the VWAP. They're trying, if they're a large fund, if they're trying to sell above VWAP. If they're a large fund and they're trying to buy below VWAP, right? They want to get the best price they can near the average price, volume weighted average price. If they could say to their boss at the end of the day, I filled most of my orders with an average price below the VWAP, then they're going to get a happy, good job today. And if they tell their boss, I got all the shorts and I filled at 560 when VWAP is 544, they're going to be happy, because that over the long term, they're going to cost average through whatever their direction is. So that's why VWAP matters so much, because it is an area of high interest for large funds, hedge funds, big banks. That's kind of how a lot of those people do work. If you're on YouTube, I see a lot more new viewers. If you would like to hit the like button, subscribe, all that fun stuff, trying to do my best here to just provide some value. As the day goes on, I'm not, especially Friday, I am really not looking to deviate from my levels, deviate from kind of the thought process that I have. I have a few scenarios that are kind of taking place here that I think are likely, right? I think we're still in a bullish kind of sentiment right now. NVIDIA has broken high of the day, and it is trying to push up to that 125 level, 125.34. Microsoft has been selling and is still holding below the 420 level. So those are the two most heavily weighted in the NASDAQ. So they're kind of fighting each other. And I think that's another reason why you're going to get a lot of this sideways action. It's also Friday. It's August, which is the worst trading month of the year, personally, and for the markets to be, look at this low volume that we have down here. It's not usually this low this quickly in the day, right? It's only 909, and we've already, we're in the low thousands on executions. Obviously, the S&P is much more thick, and there's a lot more orders over there. It has been relatively strong opposed to the NQ. And the Russell, I think, was also relatively strong, but it has pulled back since. So Russell broke out from pre-market highs and immediately fell back down to 2151 and is trying to find support here at 2151. NQ, I'm looking at Delta, still looking like Delta's strong buyers still stepping in here. I have a 73 lot at 70, 73 lot at 70. So price wants the magnet up there. I would guess 70 tries to get filled. Let's see if I can find it on this dome. 70, 70, 70, 70. 74 lots there, 70. You can see it right there sitting on the dome. That level 2 is sitting at 74, at least at 70. 75 at 70. So I'm going to draw a little something for you guys here. Arrow mark here at 70. There's a 70-something lot there. 75 plus lots. What we've been seeing with the larger size, it's been drawing price to the level and then breaking that level, it seems like a lot of times. So if you're looking for something to pull you to a spot here, that 75 plus contracts on the ask there, it wants to pull it to that 70, right? Break the high. Is it going to now be filled and rotate back down, or are we going to fill and continue on up through the previous day high? Like I said yesterday, the heavier contract size, it was more like 100, 200 plus sitting on the ask. And then once it got there, it rallied straight through it. That was at a really key level at 400. So there was so much opportunity for, confluence, right? Big round number. It was a key structure level because it has reacted in the past. A lot of reasons why that level was drawn to and pulled through. And like I said yesterday, if we broke through 400, we go to 500 today. I think if we continue to hold above VWAP, get through these key levels, previous day high, overnight highs probably come into play up overhead. If you get up over the 19,760, then I think all-time highs come in at some point, probably next week, if not the week after, just because just the way we've gotten all of our data points. We're going to do the buy the rumor, sell the news type deal in a sense where you're going to buy up all this good data, right? This good inflation data where inflation's coming down, unemployment numbers are coming down, this consumer sentiment for some reason is going up. Like all of the lines point to Fed rate cut come September 18th. And here's the Fed Watch tool that we use to kind of give us an indication of what market participants are pricing in. And you can see they're pricing in a cut here. The current rate is 525. They're looking for a 0.25% rate cut, 76%. Pretty much 100% looking for a rate cut. Some are looking for 0.75 of a point or half a point. Some are looking for only a 1/4 of a point. So, noting this, we want to see that we're pricing this in now. Prices, everything's saying going to do that. People think that it's bullish, so they're going to buy into it. They're going to get that extreme greed coming into those all-time highs. Just like when CPI hit at the all-time highs prior, we got the seller kind of happy to come in and pull out. But now we're going to step in all the way to all-time highs, leading that buy the rumor, and then you get the rate cut. Then you realize, oh, we need more rate cuts. And then it pulls back. Sellers start to step in because all of that exuberance going on overhead is going to have plenty of sellers there waiting for the buyers to kind of step in at those all-time highs. Like I mentioned yesterday, if you start to see your neighbors, that's why I thought that panic sell of that yen carry trade was going to be a great buying opportunity, right? Warren Buffett liquidated a lot, and he was like $300 billion in cash. Berkshire was right before that crash, and he knew that it was coming based on the yen carry trade nonsense and a lot of the other things that went on. Something, he could see it with all his data research and whatever insider trading goes on. I'm not accusing him of insider trading, but they know what's going on, right? So it pumped down. Beautiful time to be cash when everybody's at extreme fear, ready to sell to you, and you can just buy it back up with no real news that's going to bring it anything deeper than it was. So I was talking about that day being the bottom, and it was. If I was more of a longer term investor, that was a great time to buy. Right now, like I'm talking about that end, from the high end, do we see capitulation on the rate cut in September? I think there's a good chance. Then you're going to start to get that capitulation. Buyers are going to start buying, sell. The bigger sellers will sell from there, start to rotate back down. You might get a deeper pullback, into this area where we're at right now, potentially, but I don't think it'll pull back that far. With the election season coming, November, with the uncertainty of who will be president, all that fun stuff, that kind of leads to more fear, and then you can kind of get more selling coming in. And then once you start to get some clarification, that's when you get that next rotation, depending on the election and whatnot from there. But overall, like I said, I think we're in like this kind of grindy price action to highs. And I don't see why there's no other news, no other data that's going to move this to the downside. So I would look to buy pullbacks, right? Buy pullbacks. I think we do get snappy moves based on structure. So you probably get a lot of good technical breaks up until that rate cut in September. So that's why I want to be fully funded, back again, refunded up to 5 accounts at least, maybe more across different firms, and just do my best to maximize all of that, come into September to have great opportunities to kind of capitalize on moving forward. But just kind of thinking through the dynamics of the market and having a thesis on what's going to happen on the day, right? This is what I was talking about here as scenario number 2. So scenario 2 played out, but a little bit sloppier than one would have liked, right? This is a good break. I don't prefer to take something like this, but it did work out nice and clean. I don't want to execute anywhere near VWAP because of the high interest. I use VWAP as a target. I don't like to use VWAP as an entry criteria. I know a lot of people that have good entry criteria, and that's good for them. It's just, to me, for what I like to do and the how I like to be right very quickly or wrong quickly. When you're in that VWAP area, you're going to get a lot of congestion, a lot of tight price action, and you're not going to get that explosive move out unless you're already kind of in momentum and breaking through. This wasn't really a momentum play, right? You were coming to the downside. You are catching bids. You're building back higher lows all the way up and through. It's more of a reversal type idea, a turnaround from the pullback that happened from the overnight. I would have loved to have bid this up here on this break, on this bounce. I don't trade pre-market, so I didn't execute anything here. Coming into the day, I wanted to see this kind of snap down, get into overnight lows. We got, as close as we probably could have without actually getting there, sweeping the low and rotating higher. So my scenarios, of all 4 of them, they didn't play. 56, that's 70 lots. There it is. We didn't really get a huge, snappy fill here either. So it is still lower volume. Even on that high volume ask price there, we drew price right up to it. You could see when I drew this arrow right here, I drew it up when we were kind of approaching it from the VWAP. So I said that there is probably a likely pull to that 70 area, and you did get that pull right up to there, just kind of based on price needing to get somewhere where there's going to be liquidity. So that was that there. I don't see anything else currently, floating on the order book. There's nothing huge. We are stacking a lot of bids below, so the bids are kind of pushing us up and up and up and up. We're just going to wait to see if anything happens around maybe overnight highs. I think 610 will be reactive. I'm going to delete this because although it did work, I just wanted to notate it for you. I know Charlie asks for it now too, since I've been mentioning it here and there. I just, talked about cautious behavior on a Friday. This is not, unless you're like really a bull, perma bull, and you were looking to kind of just build into this every bounce, you just buy, and then you just move your stop, and then you're just working your way into this. That makes sense for whatever that strategy would be, right? Buying the bounces, buy the bounce, sell it. If it fails, right, just trail it out every time. If it cracks the low, then you have the low. But this didn't kind of set itself up. It was looking like more this break, bounce, break, right? So it was very sideways, choppy action. Nothing that I see where there's a really clean move. If you're a 15-minute orb person, this is the high here, so that did make sense as far as the buy. However, maybe on the pullback, right? The break, pullback, rotation, that orb strategy that a lot of people have been playing, that 15-minute opening range breakout. I use 1-minute opening ranges for more just showing me directional moves. I don't prefer to play opening range breaks of any sort. I just like to use it as a reference point. This was, like I said, this was good. This did show a nice support right here for that bounce. NVIDIA is approaching the 125.34. Right here, there's the NVIDIA push to up to 125.34. I talked about that right here. This bounce point here, that 122.29 level, as a really key structure support level. So once this bounced, kind of gave you maybe a confidence to push this up. 846. What do you know? 846 right there. You can see 846 found support in NVIDIA, and you found support. 846 is this bounce here in the NQ. So that's your bounce from there. 846, exact same time that you get the bounce from structure. So this is the reason I use confluence, right? The confluence is between the Mag 7 names. NVIDIA is basically the NASDAQ. Microsoft as well has been holding lows, so relatively weak on the day compared to NVIDIA, compared to Meta. Meta's actually on the lows. Amazon was on highs. Google was on highs. Tesla's on highs. Pulled back from highs. NVIDIA pulling back from that level, but I do think we have up to that 125.34. Apple's been sideways. Did give you a little bit of a breakout, but now it's pulling back. I usually just keep it on NVIDIA and watch for my levels to come into play on my NQ. S&P is hit off on previous day highs. You can see right here, previous day high on the S&Ps. Never made it to that previous day high in the NQ. Maybe we can get up over that previous day high. And if you start to see the S&P roll down, S&P has been leading us higher today. It's been relatively strong compared to the NQ in my eyes, the way it's been playing. Obviously, they're both kind of in that same area of pushing up. This had less pullbacks on the S&Ps than the NQ had these deeper pullbacks, acting like it was more relatively weak compared to the S&Ps. So if S&Ps can do it again, break through here, watch this purple box. It's been reactive. Any questions, comments, concern, anything that you're looking at? If you're over on YouTube, hit the like, all that fun stuff. Comment if you got anything. Let me know. Day Trading Coffee Co. Posted on top of the chat. It's pinned to the top there. Apparently, I got an email, I don't know, last month sometime from Top Step. I do have their affiliate link. It gave people slight, small discounts, and it gave me like a little bit of credit to being an affiliate and sending people that way. But it seems like they're getting rid of the affiliate program. They're going to only go to large influencer people, so I won't be having that. So if you do want to get a combine from my link, click it. Just give me the credit. I really want to try and partner with them with the coffee company. So if I could show that I'm sending people over there and continue to send people that way, then it would be nice to do that. So let me get the link for you guys. Shorten the URL, copy tracking link. I'm going to post that here. If you do need a new combine for next week, don't be afraid to hit that one. Use that link there. That'll help support this channel and the coffee company moving forward, because if I could partner with them to try and be one of those people that'll send out free combines and stuff like that through the coffee company, I want to, with the funding fund and all that stuff, I want to give away combines, all that stuff. So the more I can show them I send people their way, the more likely I can get reaccepted back into the program when they do eventually go back to it, but they are getting rid of it. So if you could do that, that'd be great. And if you need that combine before Monday, because we are going to start a new combine Monday, show you guys how to pass through and do all that fun stuff to maximize funding. I do have a couple that will reset come Saturday. Right now I have these two. They're a little drawn down, but nothing crazy on them. So try and get all of these funded by the end of the month. And if you want to join along, click the link, get on over there, but get yourself a combine or two, and you'll be satisfied. I think we can pass these, get them going. But yeah, they're getting rid of the entire affiliate program, and then they're going to just go straight to influencers and stuff like that. So I'm not that guy, but I want to be, partnering with them with the coffee and stuff like that. So that's the goal, to kind of show interest before they take it away. A lot of just slow, low volume grinding price action. Same thing that I talked about yesterday. The slow price action of grind up leads to kind of the buyers continuing to step in, pushing up. There you go, Scott. Welcome back, dude. Short small at 70. I like it. 70 had that larger size sitting there. We did fill 78s, 20 lots, nothing huge there. NVIDIA is presenting a small pullback. Let's see what we got here. Trend line. NVIDIA could bounce, from 124. So it's pulling back into 124. If you are short, note that, short to VWAP isn't a bad idea, but I also just note that NVIDIA has support right here. You can see this kind of pretty clear. Bounce. We're at some support here. Could give you a nice push into 124, then rotate up, or just bounce from here without even ever getting to the area and continue on upside. Maybe potentially right in there. If we're just going straight bodies of candles, that's a clean area, but 124 could be targeted. S&P also has been holding this trend the whole day. So if it cracks and holds, then maybe you got that move to continue us lower. S&P has been leading us. So if it is leading to the downside, note that. Overall, right here, right now, I don't have anything. You can see I'm middle of areas that I get involved in. If you have been here at all in the past, you note that I do mainly only deal with previous day highs, overnight highs, previous day low, overnight lows. I do add some key levels in between. I'll talk to you about major structure levels as we kind of approach to them. We're right now in the middle of no man's land for myself. It's another reason I don't like to execute around VWAP in those areas, right? I tend to not like to take breakouts of VWAP, especially. Usually VWAP is a nice area of resistance or support depending on the direction we're headed. I did talk about how today was probably going to continue to be a bullish day. So any sort of pullback probably gets bid up. So any sort of pullback that you're getting, if it's not snappy and quick, I don't think it grinds down. I think if you're going to get a short, you're going to get a snap short, then probably gets bid back up without, too much movement. If it's going to happen, it's likely to happen at major structure levels. Probably previous day highs, probably overnight highs. That's why I have those. 610 is a key area. That was that contract gap bottom. So that's where the previous contract called it a high. And then we rotated into the new contract here. So just noting that area, I would expect this to get back up over this previous day high before it does even decide if it wants to rotate back to the bottom end. And you can see NVIDIA, once again, holding that support on the downside. I think pullbacks get bid up, slow markets, low volume, Friday, summer. You're going to get a trending kind of day. It's been every Friday, or for the most part, most Fridays this year have been trending type days once it does pick a direction until like early afternoon. And then sometimes it pulls a reversal early afternoon. But for the most part, if it picks a direction early in the day, it tends to just go. Probably because of the low volume, probably because people are just trying to pick tops for the end of the week, and they're just going to keep buying into that, selling into it. So watch NVIDIA up to 125.34. That would give me some idea of, if NVIDIA gets up over 125.34, then possibly if we're up over this previous day high, probably up over that 620 into that area, you get some whippy action. Rotate back through 610, then I can see potentially the idea of maybe taking that quick short just as a pullback, if that's your idea. That's our normal strategy, so that's sort of something that I would look for. But with the S&P being the leader and not making it up, you're still kind of safe. You're for that, but I think this kind of holds for now. Just because the timing's not there for me. It's 9:30. Market's been open for an hour. Very low volume, very slow price action. It's clean, right? It's kind of the support's there. If you get a break of this, I would watch for that high of the day to kind of come in. Nvidia creeping back up, looking to pop over 125, 124.70. If it can get over 124.70 with any sort of push, it's going to get up over 125. Up over 125 gets you to 125.34. Then you get up over here on this price, right? That break of that pushes you up over previous day highs and then beyond, right? All right, as long as you got a smaller loss, like I said, I think this does continue to stair step up. And if it doesn't, I in a market like today, right? I kind of talk to everybody every day that I come in here and say, what kind of day is today going to be, right? With all the data that we got yesterday, I said probably just it's going to grind higher most of the day. Everything that gets pulled back is going to get bid up. I think today you're going to get a similar price action, but less explosive moves. I think it's going to be even more of a grind, and it's going to continue upside. If you do get a pullback that's actually worth anything, it's going to be a snap pullback. It's going to be like an impulsive sell from maybe a large order, just kind of get me filling in the back end, and then you're going to get that sell. And I don't think it's going to induce more selling. I think it's just going to be a snappy pullback, push up. So you got to understand, what kind of day is it today? Where is today the type of day where I could take shots at the high for bigger pullback moves, where I can catch a small chunk of that big pullback? Today doesn't seem like that kind of day. Today seems like the day where if you do get a pullback, it's going to be something like this, like a couple, faint candles that will just kind of grind back down. If you do get that one snap, you have to be ready for it. You got to be able to enter it. And then if it doesn't go immediately, just close it, right? Because you're probably going to grind back up. If it starts to tick, if it doesn't take your stop or your entry and just flush, then potentially it's going to just tick back right back up. So I would be cautious on anything that doesn't just snap. Like that S&P right there, snap to the downside. Maybe that leads to this go to VWAP, but I don't see it yet because Nvidia is still holding on top of that trend. There's a good push, but is that a trap? I'm not sure. It's away from levels. It's out of my area of interest, right? We talked about that 70 having a lot of interest at it. There was a bunch of orders sitting around there. We're kind of just having a lot of volume in this area. More so, you can see it ticking up a little bit more volume here, but nothing overwhelming, right? It's just orders are being executed here. You can see it probably better on this, right? Lower volume here, more volume being executed. So price will probably stay here for a little bit longer, just based on that. Size-wise, that's every time we get below 70, there's somebody above 70 looking to be on the ask. 73, there's a 60 lot at 73.50. Well done. Well done. Take your points and run. This is kind of talking about how I'm thinking through this and talking to you about it. If you don't expect huge pullback moves, be quick to take profits, right? On a day where you're like, okay, if we hit this level and we start to sell from here, there's a good chance that it sells off much further. Those are the days you could be a little bit more loose on your stop and trail it a little looser, right? So understanding the type of day it is, the type of moves you'll probably get should tell you, oh, I should take profits here, or I should trail quick. If it comes down fast, I should try and snap through it if I can. But otherwise, right, you're not looking for like giant moves on a day like today. If it does happen, it does happen, but the likelihood of it happening is less likely, right? If we do pull back that deep, I wouldn't be surprised either, but it would be a grinding push to the downside. not enough touches on this yet for this to be worth my time. Wherever this turns from, we'll see if that's going to be it. NVIDIA broke through that 124.50. It's trying its best to break through 124 quarters, but it's holding support there, right? You could see 124 quarter, 124.20 right in this area here is supportive. If that gives up, then I think you could get some selling to push in for NVIDIA, although I do think that 125.30 probably is a good area. 125 even was a nice number. I did talk about that 125 even. If it breaks that to the upside, you'll see it pop. If we break 24 quarters, it'll drop. But you can see holding that support, and once you hold that support here in NVIDIA, you got that break above that level again here in the S&P. I mean, in the NQ. Watch for the break of 91, but that is probably nice right there as well. 80s tagged. Okay. Just drawing through these levels as you see them, kind of just good to note what's going on here. Where's the support? Where's the resistance? What are you getting out of the data points here? If you're up 15 points long, you may be able to hold it better, right? You might, okay. If you're in long from say 65, if your stop's at even, this break of this high here probably brings you up. Longs probably have more probability of running than shorts do. But that's a high probability. But you're out. That's good. If you're going to just be scalpy today, taking range-bound type trades is good as well. But just thinking through the type of day, like I said, if it's a grinding type day to the high side, if you're buying dips, potentially your ability to hold through highs is a good chance. NVIDIA just kind of swept through that low at 124 quarters. So you're getting out is probably good there just based on NVIDIA trying to break down again. So that was good. But now you're seeing relative strength again compared to these names. Let's see what Microsoft's doing. Microsoft is catching a little bit of a bid down here at 417.50 seems to be the bottom of it for today. So 417.50 for Microsoft. If it comes back there again, if the buyer steps back in, probably rotates up. We've been rotating Microsoft 417.50 to 418.50, almost 419. NVIDIA cracked that low of 124.25 and is now looking to get back to it, see if it gets and holds down here or if it continues to the downside. I try my best to not mess around middle of my range, middle of zones. I like to see what happens with this price action. I'm going to note it, keep it in the back of my head. You are trying to crack through this low now. There we go, is a better breakdown. So there's a snappy move, right? The snap kind of move that you want to see when you're trying to take shorts. These are the ones that you're going to want to trail kind of quickly, though, because like I said, in a bullish environment, the likelihood of a big failure is probably less likely, right? You want to catch the snappy move, you want to get it, and then move on. Take profit of VWAP. Beautiful move. Well done. Well done. Right? That's what you got to look for, right? Snap move, breakdowns, using the confluence of NVIDIA breaking down to kind of just lead you to the downside, snap, but take profits. It's the one where you take profits, right? Because that's the kind of day it is. It's not the kind of day where you're going to get those 100-point runners really fast. I mean, it could happen, but if you just think of it, what type of day? Think through it constantly. What type of day is it? What type of day is it? Where am I at? What has price been doing today? Price has been moving upside. These are small pullbacks. We're over VWAP still. The first touch of a VWAP on a breakout, pullback, rotate probably is going to bounce from the VWAP, right? It's just the likelihood of VWAP cracking so cleanly on both directions is probably unlikely, right? If it comes back again now and it touches it a second time, a third time, that breaks that support down and you're a little bit more likely to get follow through it. But if you're going to come right into VWAP like that, that's a great way to just take your short, take your profit and move on, right? Just because it's going to get drawn there and then be done on a snap type of move. Oh, the XFAs are good though. That's good. Oh, no. XFA is dead. Yep. It happens. It happens. I'm in that boat as well. We are in the refunding stage. Everybody. I think it's just a matter of aggressiveness. It's been a hard few weeks for almost everybody. It's a really tough market environment to be trying to trade through. Just do your best to take some lessons from what the last few weeks have brought to us. The frustrations that you may be feeling, all that stuff. Don't be upset. It's upsetting. It's annoying. I mean, I'm still kind of annoyed. I'm not that annoyed anymore. The days that I just were like, oh man, this is crazy that I can't believe that 5 days in a row I lost 2 straight trades, right? That's not something that happens to me very often. Yeah, that's my thing. That might be my detriment in trading and even in sports, I didn't even really like winning as much as so I hated to lose. So to change that mindset a little bit into trading I'm doing a better job with it, but we're approaching VWAP again, and S&P's is breaking through VWAP, kind of giving you a heavier behavior here, which is interesting. This is the 15-minute opening range support level there at 35. Does that hold? Inside day so far, have not touched any levels that I'm interested in. Yeah, lockout, go play some games. We'll be back Monday with a fresh combine, ready to go, showing you how to pass. I know a lot of you have passed your first, your second, your third. You've done it. You know it's possible. So let's go out, refocus, re-zone in for next week. Friday today is, it's a little sloppy. This is not like the best price action to be trading. No, it's all good. You can lurk all you want. I like it. Lurk, conversate, do what you want. Share the stream, share the link that I shared, because I am going to be losing it. They're getting rid of the affiliate program, I think, next week. So if you do need to get any more combines for the next week and if you have my code, use it, because like I said, they're going to get rid of it. So click the link. Yeah, I appreciate you showing the support. It does help. So when they do look at applications for who they want to partner with moving forward, at least it shows a track record that I have brought people to them and all that. And I want to do it so I can start to give. I don't know. Sometimes there's discounts. Sometimes there's not. I think right now they're in a period of they're not giving discounts because they're fading away from the affiliate program. I do get credit. Like, it shows that I have clicks. So at least it shows that I have clicks, and it shows that people purchase stuff. So that's always good. Like I said, I get like a small little fee, like $2 or something if you buy it. So at least it's just something there where it just shows that when I do, like I said, I'm going to put the application in for the coffee. So they have shut down all free resets, all the fire drills. So I haven't gotten any of those. Top Step admittedly has been getting overwhelmed by new people coming in and support tickets for people who just, overwhelm the system and whatnot. So they got so backlogged on the support end that they shut down everything free until they can start to get their support back up and running. So they're updating the whole back end. Apparently by September, their support staff is going to be, they hired like 30 to 40 more people apparently. So their support staff is going to be better than ever. They're going to have a better back end. Their dashboard system is going to be improved. And then once all that's like settled in, then they're going to start to go into the free reset stuff, because a lot of what the support backlog was people saying, oh, I didn't get my free reset. And they overwhelm support tickets with these free reset things. So they shut all the free reset stuff down until they get more staff to be able to get in there and answer questions and stuff. And they have been giving resets if you have had like major issues and stuff like that. So if you have an issue, they'll make it right. They will give you resets and stuff like that for the any sort of issues that come into play. But for like as far as fire drills and stuff, I haven't seen any of that of late, because I think, like I said, they're going to shut it down for now. Overall, I have no executions in these zones, right? Like around VWAP, I'm not really that interested. Maybe if it breaks back above this wedge, above 70, and squeezes back up to 610, that makes some sense. A bounce off of this trend here, or maybe this zone that I drew up before, These are the scenarios that I kind of drew out. Now you see that this one played out here, number 2. Number 2 played out with a pop and a rotation and then a push. I wanted number 1 to kind of play out for my idea long. Number 2, I wanted to set up a little bit more below VWAP. I didn't want that first break and then push. So that kind of made this happen a little faster, right? It came up, pulled back, but never sat down here for a period of time where like something like this would pop my interest. So we have never hit this previous day high. We have never hit this overnight low. So we have been completely inside day so far today. Nothing that's been A plus would be anything where it's hitting these areas. A plus in this area, but it needs to set up, right? You need something like this or something like this where you got up into here and then you're creeping up, rising wedge pattern, and then a fall of that could give me an opportunity. But I think any sort of break of the previous day high probably gets buyers to keep coming in. So breakout of this level probably more likely than failed breakout. So this is what I end up doing, right? I go through and just think through scenarios. I talk through what I think is happening, what might happen, what could happen, what I'm seeing, what I'm not seeing, size, any sort of orders that I see on size, anything like that. I'm just out here observing, making sure I can make notes to what I see in the market, and give you guys just some feedback on what I'm seeing. It's 9:46. There's no more news for the week unless you get some crazy other information. Goolsby speaks at noon, 12:30. Probably just get kind of choppy inside price action for the day until it gets above and below. Thank you, Jofi. I appreciate it as well. I'll be here Monday morning, normal time, same place. Just hopefully we can get some good, clean price action. We are going to start new combines next week. We're going to try and load up 5 full in Top Step. Then if we get loaded in Top Step, I might go to a couple other companies and load up in there as well, to just give myself the opportunity in September to be able to take advantage of key opportunities, right? Rate cut decisions, all that fun stuff. Come September, October, November coming to election season, like everything that could possibly be, worked on as a trader is what I would like to see, right? So I'm going to try and leverage that for ourselves. Starting next week, right? And like I said, if you do need a combine, click the link in the chat, click the link in the bio, all that, and you'll be able to get yourself some combines. I think I didn't post it in here. I'll post it here now. No, I guess not. It doesn't want to load. Okay, great. Copy that. That's the one. NVIDIA has sold off really nicely from that break of that trend. That was a really clean break. Once you broke through that low of 124.25-ish, that really kind of just accelerated the sellers back to the downside. I would expect 122.29 to be your support area. So wait for that timing if you are looking for a bounce play in the NQ. Microsoft probably doing the same. Still doing that dance rotation between 418.15 and 417.15, just basing out here, but on the higher end as NVIDIA is selling. So NVIDIA is still selling, pushing right down to that 122.30 level. So just broke back down below that orb high that people play. So now you're starting to see that whippy price action. Accelerated push down, good area for buyers to step in potentially, but if this does crack, we'll see if we get the overnight low swept. Let's see. Bounce play. Does this bounce again from here or not? Let's see. I'm going to let NVIDIA tell me if it's going to bounce or not. Does not look like it. Looks like Melt City. So now you're getting those real snappy moves, which is nice. I didn't kind of anticipate that with today quite yet, but NVIDIA just ran into 122.29. I think that right there, 122.29. Microsoft Does it bounce from 417.50 again? And if it all does it line up with the bounce play here at 500? Seems like an interesting area for there to be a bounce. Right? Does 500 provide the opportunity to bounce? I'll buy that bounce for NVIDIA just for this combine test. This is to test this out. See if this bounce play works. NVIDIA is catching a bounce from 122.29. This is really a playoff of a bounce off of NVIDIA is what I'm looking to see if this is going to be. There goes NVIDIA trying to creep back up. This was purely a bounce play from NVIDIA off of that structure point. If we get back up, there we go. Creep that high. I'll go to even. See how high it'll go. See if it'll get up there. I think that was a really good play for the NVIDIA bounce. Nice. You up $200 already on the bounce. I want to see if it'll get up over that blue line. If it does, I'll go to here. We'll go 135. There's a nice little push. NVIDIA still getting that bid up. I think that was a short trap. That to me looked like a short trap. Nice, really clean bounce play from that area. I will go right up underneath that for this play here. Back to VWAP. If you're going to target VWAP, that was a good target there. I'm going to try and let it breathe a little bit more. I think that if it does want to continue to just rip upside, that this is a good chance. Like I said, I think pullbacks get bought up. I don't think that we get full selling today, and that bounce point came right in line with NVIDIA bouncing from 122.29. So if we sell from here, fine, that's cool. But I think if we can catch a bid and get up over VWAP, this probably just continues to run up to 610. Would be a nice target area for that rotation from that bounce, and it probably happens clean. I guess I could get stopped out here. That's possible, but I'm fine trailing that up to the key structure levels of those high breaks and whatnot. So I don't see size overhead quite yet, but we basically bottom picked that, right? I saw that turn. I saw NVIDIA bouncing from the level. You're now approaching through VWAP. Once I get up to maybe the top end of that channel, I will put my stop at VWAP. So that'll secure us a nice little bit. So there we go. I secured 590. If we can't get through this top end of that channel, this is how I'm using my structure levels to just give you the thought process, right? Realistically, you could even be just at even and let this thing dance around and then you hammer out at VWAP. But for me personally, I'm just going to secure the win. That's the kind of trader I am. I'm not one to hold too long if the price doesn't tell me to go, right? If VWAP's going to snap me out, that's cool. Looks like it's going to here. We're out for a solid 590 on that bounce play there. So what do you know? Confluence equals confidence. I added a little play there for this trendline bounce play here. I still think that this has more room to the upside, but I trailed out to get myself a solid 590 on the day. Start stepping these combines back towards getting funded, getting myself one base hit after another, teaching you that it is possible, right? That was very clean. And then now you can see we're pulling back even deeper from that top end of that channel there. So that was good. NVIDIA gave me that signal right here. NVIDIA right here, right there. Boom. Bounce off 122.29. Now if it approaches here and cracks at this time, is this a dead cat bounce and break through? That could induce heavy selling through 122.29. I don't know what kind of came out. Is there some sort of news? Facts no before getting in it. I don't know, but realistically, technical breaks. Really all this is today, Friday, without more news, technical breaks. Watch for technical patterns. Watch for price structure levels. If you liked that trade and you wanted to do more of it, hit the like button. If you want to see more of these, patterns, types of ideas kind of play out for you, talk to me. Let me know what you got going on, because we just secured you a nice $600 move there without any heat, right? We took the bounce from just the confluences and we made some money on it. And now we're basically done on the day, unless I see something overwhelmingly telling, right? I would like to sweep the overnight low. If we can get that, that'd be great too. But you got the bounce. You're up, Charlie. I like it. I'm glad you got the bounce. Good stuff. This secondary bounce, though, I would be cautious on if you are trading this time. NVIDIA isn't quite down at that level, so a break of this could lead to some selling, and then I'll be interested down here with our original idea, right? So could this have been where we got that trap and trick some longs, rotate us down, stop a few people out, secure some of those longs, and then boom, pop up? That would be great. I would like to see this down below the overnight low to get our next opportunity right there. But right there is what I was looking for. We called it out. We talked about how that whippy behavior there, we let it confirm to us that it was going to hold this level. We didn't enter immediately. We allowed it to kind of wick down, get you that liquidity grab, start to push back up. You start to see NVIDIA still catch that bid push, trail it out with NVIDIA, where you see NVIDIA, okay, NVIDIA is running to structure. We're approaching 123.30. That was a swing high. Could rotate back down off of it. We have that 15-minute high that we broke out of before. We kind of approached the top end of the channel. Let's trail out to VWAP, because if we don't, it's probably going to rotate down, which exactly happened, right? So I do the trail as I see fit. Does it crack now and get above this level, 60 up to 80? Who knows? Let's see if we get any size on the books that I see. It looks like just algo kind of behavior above and below, right? This is all I'm seeing here. When you see it like bookended like this so cleanly, and it's usually like 10s, 20s, 30s, and they flash, they go, they flash, they go. It's usually algorithms, because most people aren't sitting there clicking button, flashing it, and moving it, flashing it, moving it. Those are computers that are doing that. So you start to see orders pop in and out, right? That's how you know that that's what's going on. 43 lot down here at 520. 520 is interesting. So 40 lot there. Did it fill? 526 got 50 lots there. All right, that was a really good Friday trade for me. Honestly, the patience of allowing that type of idea to set up. I've been seeing that. It's something that I haven't been executing on, but today I wanted to give it a shot with the combine, start to develop some of these extra little plays that are going to help add to my ability to make some money on each and every day, right? The confluence here, trading NVIDIA using the NASDAQ chart is kind of it's an interesting way to do it, but it does work time and time again, right? And a lot of times when we see this kind of snappy, heavy behavior in a seller, if it runs right into an area where people are interested in shorting, it grabs me in and rotates me out. And that was my problem last week, where I was getting technical breaks above my level. I would take the failures, it would wick me in, like bottom tick me, and then rotate me out, and then eventually follow through. But I was noticing that these big, strong pushes will push us into liquidity, snap us out, and then rotate back the other direction. So I adjusted for that here, right? I wanted to see, okay, will that happen again? Yes, it did. It happened where it snapped out of a technical pattern, ran right to the clear area of resistance where people would probably short, and then bid back up from there. So probably just grab some of these orders and rotate it up. The next touchdown and through maybe is that breakdown, but I wouldn't be surprised if it kind of just dances around this area for now. 500 is a very key structure point, so it's psychological. This kind of area was important before, so just note it. This is just note. Understand these things kind of going through, and hopefully you're able to make good decisions based on it. It's 1 minute till 10. See what happens at 10. I'll probably be on here for another 15 to 30 minutes. I think I'll get off a little early today. I had a pretty bad headache before going to bed last night, and I woke up a little bit groggy. with the headache feeling kind of lingering, but it hasn't been here today. The coffee's been good. We did a really good job of maintaining our composure and allowing certain things to set up and then giving a shot at something that I haven't been shooting in the recent past. So we're trying to do our best here to find those areas of interest, do good capital risk management, and then, we're going to get back funded more and more and more, right? We're at 51,146 on this one, up 619, up 614 on this one. And I'm not going to log it out. I'm going to wait and see if I can get down below this overnight low and get some manipulation. I think rotational around these highs could be a good play here. Did Microsoft break down? Microsoft, no, it's still kind of holding that 417.50. It tried to break through the lows and didn't follow through. So NVDA catching a little bit of a higher low, kind of wedging out. If it breaks above 123.25, expect maybe another leg up into 124. Bluey's on in the other room. I could hear it. Anybody still executing? Anybody looking for something? Let me know. Always live, every day, the good, the bad, the ugly. Anything that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be doing it here, showing you the realities of everything. Like last week, chopped a lot of people up, not just us, not just me. Some people made money, which is great. I'm glad that people were able to make money in that environment. And there was opportunity to make money. You just had to be a little bit maybe looser with your stops, smaller on your size, and better on your timing, because everything was a little bit off on the timing just based on the way the volatility was going. Today, clearly, it seems like timing is pretty good. We're able to see these bounces when they're coming, see the breaks when they're coming. So just slowing everything down, allowing things to set up, giving the time for the markets to pick a direction, and then just kind of follow through with it. Overall, like I said, September is going to be, I would love to be fully funded and ready to go by the end of August, right? 2 weeks from now, I should be able to get 2, 3, 4, 5 accounts ready to go. Do I want to really go hard executing on them, knowing that August has been shitty, low volume trading? Probably not. If I get lucky enough to pass all the combines and get back into the fully funded set, then, maybe you take a couple days to just reset, because some of these setups are a little bit, with the combine, I'm a little bit more aggressive, and I'll make some money, willing to kind of risk a little bit more. It allows things to work out pretty good. And I did this today on one contract. I would have liked to have taken that on 2 contracts and trailed it out as I went, and that would have been a nice $1,500 trade on 2 contracts. So, it's relative based on what you want to do. I appreciate everybody coming by on a Friday. We hit up over almost 60 viewers here in the Tradecaster lobby. Fantastic seeing more and more people come in and just providing the value that we can do on a day-to-day basis. Trading the NQ, giving the S&P levels, showing what's happening in the Mag 7 names. If anybody has any questions about any other charts that maybe they want to be read or whatever, my levels are usually pretty good. Sometimes my execution, personally, I get a little off here and there, but my levels are usually pretty good. I have no issues with developing good longer term levels, good intraday levels, finding places where price may be reactive. There may be interest there, may not be interest there. So overall, like I said, if there's anything you want me to look at, I could look at Forex pairs, I could look at any equity name, I could look at any futures contract that you want to see, and we can kind of analyze it moving forward. Charlie asked for gold in my weekly analysis, and I'm adding that to the weekly analysis now. I think the gold breakdown was pretty good this week based on what I saw. Charlie, you let me know if it was good or bad. Really looking at those levels that I talked about in the write-up, where were we on gold? We'll be 30 minutes. So we were talking about on Sunday. Okay. So I wrote this up Sunday. I was talking about these levels here that would be reactive. I kind of talked about how in this uncertain time, even though equities probably are going to continue to get bid up, there is a lot of flight to safe havens, right? So safe havens would be metals, they would be the dollar, there would be anything that's a store of value that isn't necessarily going to be as risky, right? So there's going to be flows of money into these less risky, more value holding products, right? So I said if we break above 24.74, we probably start to stair step all the way up into this 25.22 level. That was the last upside level I drew for the week. You could see I thought that this would probably be the ultimate area where there would be interest this week. Potentially it could go higher, but like I said, for the week, looking at it from Sunday and the way price moves with with gold, pushing up over this high, maybe it starts to push up into 55.60. But at the end of the day, where I saw buyers stepping in at this contract roll, I think maybe we rotate back through and we get there. So the gold analysis that Charlie was asking for pretty much played out nicely. Looking at it where we bounced from this low on Wednesday of last week, that bullishness stepped in from that low. It was never wanting to go any lower than 24.21, broke through the high of 24.74 and pushed up. Looking at oil, I actually wanted the bounces at 2,500 on gold. It bounced once, twice, three times. It failed there, rejected it again, but that next touch of it broke out. So gold seems to use multiple touches before it starts to break levels. So that's good to note for if you want to do that in the future. CL, if we want to get CL1 exclamation point. There we go. Crude oil futures has been selling. It really doesn't like to stay over that $80 mark. 80, 81 was kind of the highs here. 84.50 was a really extreme extended high. Pushing oil down into this level right here. The low of 72.50 could be the low for the week. Potentially watch for it to continue down. Could find support right where it's at, though, at 74.57. So 74.50 if this gives up down to 72.49. But there's this gap here that maybe wants to get filled. I don't know why. Maybe, we gapped. And a lot of times when you get a gap and go, it's a gap below structure, and you rotate through that structure downside. If this does continue pushing, I'd say ultimate low for the day is 72.49. A rotation off of 74.57 probably puts you back up to close the gap at 78. Ready? And then I'll go back to NVIDIA. Where am I? Where's this? There we go. NVIDIA. And here we are, NVIDIA. We'll go back to the 1 minute. There's that bounce play. Structural break from the high here at 124. Bounce play right there at 122, exactly how we expected it. So we played the long in the NQ where the arrows are. There's the green arrow that we played the long from. The 510 area rotating. We are now getting a tight wedging pattern here where a break above view out probably leads to squeeze out high of the day. Anything of a breakdown of 510 probably rotates down to overnight lows. And that's where we're kind of sitting at. So you guys let me know if you're looking at anything. The negotiation of peace in Israel. Is there actually a negotiation going on, or is there just falsities being thrown around? I don't see it on Financial Juice where there's actually like anything noted. Yeah, nothing that I see there. I think they'll always talk, but I don't think they're going to get anywhere. They hate each other. And then it's all fueled by the military-industrial complex and people making money on war. There's always going to be some sort of war somewhere where they're just going to make money off of people dying. And unfortunately, that's kind of how we're going to make money, too, if there's anything that's going to kind of add to volatility in the markets. So you kind of got to disconnect from that personally, but at the end of the day, Unfortunately, we are still all humans and people don't get along. So until there's a big change over there in the front of Israel and Palestine and Russia and all that stuff, it's going to just kind of linger on. They may talk of peace, but you're not getting any real action. Let's see. Bloomberg. Not Bloom. Bloomberg. Nothing great. No good news. No bad news. I'm just going to get kind of normal price action kind of going on right now. What kind of politics I got? Gaza reduced to 42 million tons of rubble. What will it take to rebuild? A U.S.-based ceasefire talks restart in Doha. Calls to reconstruct the strip are becoming louder. 4 hours ago. This is what Carlos was talking about. Mediators enter second day of negotiations in Qatari capital. Suspense grows as Israel braces for Iran orchestrated attack. Iran is a problem child, so they're going to go ahead and just keep saying things and stoking the fire on either way. So we'll see what goes on. Also, since Russia has been assisting Iran a little bit as well, it may heat things up somewhat, especially right now with the uncertainty of election season. That's the time that a lot of this stuff goes on because they know that they can kind of play with the political landscape of the United States to kind of leverage what they have going on over there. So it's sort of a thing. This is pretty much choppiness for the rest of the day. I mean, technical breaks I think will work for you. It is Friday. People are stepping away earlier from the charts. Being up 614 on the day, that one nice, really clean bounce play that we took from here was good. I think maybe now if we break down from 510, you do get a little bit more heaviness. But I wouldn't be convinced completely that it's going to roll totally over for us. The NVIDIA did break down 123.50 and is pushing back to kind of where we stopped before, that 123.30. So NVIDIA starting to pull back some. If it can get down to 122.29, could pull us down even further. This could initiate the break, right? The bounce here was good. Is the bounce here good? It's sort of more shallow. We're getting that wedge type pattern here. The more touches on this trend line, the more chances that it's going to give up and start to break, right? Just like how this broke here, snap break down. If you break 510, does that give you another push down through 500? Do we have any bigger size? We have 50 lots down here. You know, we're stacking bids up into 500. 500 has some bids below it. S&P's is a lot tighter to VWAP compared to the NQ. Like I said, I'm going to probably stay on here for another 15 minutes and then be done for the day. I'm satisfied with the kind of the turnaround over the last few days of just being a little even more patient, even more, but being aggressive in the selection when it comes down to what's actually going on. If you guys like kind of what I've been going on, talking through, I am going to be teaching in the boot camp through tradecaster.com. So you need a 6-month membership if you want to get that. Use my code policingpips. It gets you 10% off the membership, gets you access to the boot camp, and then, you know, Deck taught the first few days, AK's teaching now. You're going to get the recordings if you have showed up late, so you'll get all those. You'll learn how to trade stocks, options, equities, futures, everything you need to know from beginner all the way through advanced techniques. It's going to be a great boot camp. I think it's already been fantastic from the people who have seen it. It's been very good. I think overall, like I said, I'll be teaching the 26th and the 27th of this month. So those are 2 days that I'll be out of commission as far as streams are concerned. I will be teaching. So if you do want to get access to that boot camp and then just future access to more TradeCaster members, that 6-month membership gets you a little bit of a discount. Like I said, 10% off. I think it's like 7 and change for the boot camp plus 6 months, which isn't terrible, but I can understand why some people hold off on that kind of membership. So like I said, reality, I am not a salesman. I do my best to teach you and give you the opportunities. And I do think that it's a great value for your time and the money and everything that you can do. So I just present it out there. You make your choices in this world. Nobody can make you do what you don't want to do. So I just think that it's a great option, a great opportunity. If you do go over to tradecaster.com, use code Policing Pips, get yourself 6 months or more, 6 months, year, lifetime. My code will still work on monthly memberships. So if you just want to pay for that monthly membership, 10% off that as well. So just use Policing Pips to get yourself involved in anything that happens in TradeCaster, and it'll help the cause as well. I don't get paid from TradeCaster to stream, but if I do get people to sign up, then I get a little small commission there. So it does kind of help support this channel and keeps me coming back every day. That's how I have to do things here. Overall, I think I'm pretty much set on my profits for the day. Middle of the day here for me as far as the choppiness in the zone. I think that we have a likelihood of this wedge breaking in either direction? Absolutely. How much follow through is that wedge break going to give you? It's a wait and see type game. I'm trying to have these combines stay in a good clean path up 500 plus a day for over the course of a week will get me back funded on these. I am going to have one rebuild on Saturday, so we'll be trading 3 combines come Monday. So we have the 3 combines that will get funded over the course of next week, right? 5 days, $500 a day. That's $2,500 plus today. That's $500. So this one would get funded quicker because it's up $1,100. So we'll see how it goes. Just one good trade at a time here and there. Unless this thing dumps down to the overnight low in the next 10 minutes, then I'll be interested in the longs. But right now I'm not. I think that's a nice break, though, technically. NVIDIA is giving that next leg to the downside. 123 broke, and now it's trying to rotate and pull a little heavier. Alrighty, anybody looking to take any of these trades or have anything that they want me to go over? This does seem like a nice little breakdown technically here. S&P is trying its best to stay below this. The VWAP NQ is heavier relatively. It's been heavier relatively to the S&Ps all day. We got to that previous day high on the S&Ps. Could have tried that short there for the S&P. We never quite made it there in the NQ. Was waiting for that next leg up for it to be that failure. But overall, good little double top there, short idea. We took the long bounce off this right here for the one win, waiting for NVIDIA to bounce off 122.29. It seems like it wants to get there, but it hasn't quite given that pure heavy flush down quite yet. So we are still holding up here. It does seem like the NQ, I would anticipate continued grind to the high side, right? I talked about that earlier If NVIDIA does give up, though, Microsoft, if Microsoft gives up the 417.50, it's just kind of been grinding. Look at this, like, flat price action here. If you do start to catch a bid in Microsoft and it starts to push up into that 419.27, then you do start to catch the NQ. I would assume the NQ starts to push up. NVIDIA broke that. We bounced from here. We took the long from there, anticipating that to be the bounce point for NVIDIA. So NVIDIA 122.29, once again reactive. I think if we do flush this point right here, get down to 122.32, maybe you find some support at 19,480 in the NQ. If not, if this breaks 122.30, watch for low of the day or maybe 121.80 right there. That's that support from pre-market levels, right? This could be a short trap, catch support at 121.85, 80, and then rotate back up. If that's the case, if you get this to push down into that area there, 121.50 to 121.80, and rotate back up over 122, 122.30, then that's when you get possibly the break of the overnight low, and then the rotation back up, and you start to see maybe that trap down the 420, and then rotate all the way back up to highs. So that's my thought on kind of where we would be looking for this kind of movement to happen. But if it continues to hold, you're going to continue to hold this area here, right? This kind of sideways action there. Bounce play there was great. This kind of breakdown, maybe retest possible. We trailed that out perfectly to VWAP, right? Because if this would have cracked this high and continued on to high of the day, VWAP would have been a really nice stop. And then clearly coming back down, it was a great stop because now we're back, below where we would have got stopped out on that trade if you would have held it that long. I'm scalpy. I can understand where I want price to go to, what it's going to do around certain areas, and if I'm going to take $600, set $650 off the table, I'll be pretty happy with the day, every single day, right? If you copy that once, twice, 3 times, 5 times, right? That's the goal. You copy it twice, you get it up there, you move on. NVIDIA give you a nice little bounce there from 122.50. Trap under 510, rotate back to the high side. Anybody thinking that the long could come in? It's Friday. If you have money and you're up already on the day, I'm into locking out. I think that the protection of capital on days that are super low volume, summertime. So when you go through what is today going to be like, grindy, upside, probable movement, any sort of movement that happens quick technically will probably happen quick, but give you a lack of follow through. It's kind of what you're seeing on every single type of real technical move here, right? The breakout of here, kind of in a continuation day, you would expect this to just pull back and continue on and continue on and continue on, kind of like yesterday. After yesterday, and that big move up, do you need a rest day, right? So you're kind of getting that failed breakdown here now, right? Breakdown, you're failing that. Are we going to rotate back up? What kind of follow through are you going to get to the high side now, right? That's the kind of day that you're having on the low volume, then, it's up to you to recognize that stuff and make your trades accordingly. Most of the time, like I said, on Fridays, I'm going to look to just lock out if I go up early. If I was not streaming, I would be done. I would have walked away from the screen. This is not conducive to any sort of good price behavior, anything that I would want to do that would give me an edge in this market. Yes, I can see how things could occur, right? We talked about the screenshot here, right, of the types of outcomes of what we would want to see. I'm going to get rid of that. And then now if we're at that point here, we saw what would be a trap, right? Trap below here. You swept that low. Not really great, but it did get below there. Stop some people out, run it through. And then you have stops here and stops here. And then previous day high at 610. That's a good area for this to kind of continue up and into there if you break the high of the day. Is that what you're going to get? Maybe, but you could also get where you get into VWAP. You can get what we just did here. You can come into here and rotate back down that way. That's another scenario. Or the scenario of you come up, VWAP kind of just does this a little bit, You come into here, pop your head over VWAP, kind of sit on this trend line, then kind of rotate through here, give you this type of price action there, maybe get up over 560 here, and then trap you long, and then rotate back down and stay choppy. And then, that's how you have to think about what the next move will possibly look like and how can I capitalize on that move. Be it, will it have follow through or not? We'll never know if it does have follow through or not until it actually happens, right? Everything here is hindsight, right? Everything that's on the screen already happened. It's done with, right? So we're trying to project kind of anticipatory actions based on previous types of price action, make decisions around it, and then if you're going to execute it or not. None of these things are A+ steps for me, so that's not going to be executed. This was an A+ right here due to the fact that NVIDIA has been so strong all day, came into a major area of support, and right there, that was that exact time right there where that green arrow is. Green arrow there, right, on NVIDIA, green arrow there on the NQ, right into that support area. So I was able to capitalize on that bounce. Five minutes till the euro close here, so watch out for a little bit of movement come into this 10:30 number. Not a number, but 10:30 time period. I'm just watching this zone as an area of interest. It's nothing that I'm saying is going to be, reactive completely. NVIDIA is looking like it wants to possibly continue back up higher. If it does squeeze above 123.10, 123.25 would be that nice, area where the push up starts to come into play again. But that's just if this cracks the high here with NVIDIA, that's the scenario that I would see as being likely with the kind of day it is. But also, it could also roll over and melt. We can get news. We could get anything. But I think a lot of what today is going to be purely technical, driven with algorithms. And most people are already done for the day. You can see how low volume is, right? The previous low volume here, it's completely diminishing volume. The only high volume candles we've had are the support level break, and rotation, break and rotation. And then you're coming up here, wicking off on people taking profits above the VWAP, right? So that's the kind of moves you're getting. Let's see what happens at 10:30, and then I think I'm going to get off. So I want to see what kind of price comes from 10:30. NVIDIA's trying to creep up through that level. 123.25 would be the area where I would say, okay, we're starting to push up higher again. You can see it here. I'm doing a little trend line action with the NVIDIA because it's purely today, like I said, it's a technical break on these names. High or low, above a key level of support, breaking a technical level here with that trend line. If it gets up over that high of this candle here at 123.25, then you would expect buyers to kind of continue to step in. If it gives up and fails and rotates back down, then that's just a failed break of the key technical pattern there. So looking at the same time, this NQ is doing the same thing, right? Overall, not great price action to trade. Yeah, I'm done for the day. For me personally, to get a nice, good execution, disciplined, one trade of the day, be done. Overall, very happy, content with my ability to read the market on a day like today where it's a little tricky. I mean, it's not like the most clean, easy price action to deal with, but just kind of understanding, probabilities, risk management, the idea of will this go, if this would have failed and stopped me out at break even, I wasn't going to take it again, right? That's not something I was like, this isn't something that's like a full on setup that I'm like, all right, I could probably take this again, right? Something like where the overnight lows get broken, and then I get that second or third pop. Those are the ones I'm able to really react to. Stuff that's like this, there's a one shot, take the chance at it. If it fails, then that was just your chance at that cheap trade, that really clean idea. And then, you move on, right? 10:30, here's the push. NVIDIA looking like it wants to creep up. 123.15, 123.16, 17, 21, 24, 25, 28. There's the push up. See if this now pushes this. If that gives that clean break to the high side, NVIDIA, I want to 124.25. That would push us up into the highs. All right, I'm done for the day. I think you guys all had plenty of me here on Friday. Normally, I'd stay on until 11. I don't think I have any more opportunities. I don't want to sit here. I don't want you guys to sit here and play in this diddle in the middle chop. Wait for, if you're really going to sit here on a Friday where the volume is just going to continuously decrease throughout the day, if you really want to maybe go for a walk, come back, see what happens as the day progresses. And if maybe your overnight lows or highs or something comes into play where then you have an opportunity. I don't want to execute in this next half hour, give back anything that I made today. We made one really good execution. Stick to that plan where if you went red to green, or if you just went green on the day, or if you're a red small, stick with your decisions that you've made so far today and just don't compound it. Go into the weekend with a good positive attitude. Don't do dumb shit is what we always preach here. At the end of the day, Fridays, August, crap trading. If you could just get one of these good opportunities and be done with it on the day, then you're just going to be better off, right? So overall, I'm hitting that lockout button. We're done. Yes, lock me out. We are done for the day. Monday, we'll have 3 combines that we're trading. We're trying to max out funding for the proper good September trading months, that entering into the last quarter of the year, October, November, December. However, September starts to begin that beautiful price action where people start to enter the market. Volume is going to tick up. We're going to get those rate cut choices, the decisions, and all that. So be cautious on Fridays. Go enjoy the weekend. It's a nice day here in Texas. I'm going to go to work and enjoy driving around in circles all day. And you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. I will see you all Monday morning, 8:30 Central Time. Be here. Be ready to go. We're going to have 3, like I said, we're going to be trading 3 combines. We're going to do our best to pass all of those by the end of next week, or, at the latest, the end of the month, and then move on fully funded going into September, ready to go, right? We all had a hard time the last 2 weeks. Let's get past that, get over it. Don't let that kill you mentally. I think we're all in really good places as far as understanding the markets and doing well. So let's just keep with that good consistency. Keep with not doing dumb shit. Head over to daytradingcoffeeco.com. If you need a combine, click the link in the chat. It's also in the YouTube. Do all that fun stuff. So like I said, until Monday morning, enjoy your weekend. I appreciate everybody. I'll talk to you all later. Peace out.